Hello, everyone. Welcome to Peer-to-Peer Sessions, How to Apply. 2026 Artists in Residence at New Bedford Whaling National Historical Park. My name is Hendrik Hernandez Resto. I am the Creative Specialist at New Bedford Creative. Thank you for joining us today. This peer-to-peer series is geared to enrich, educate, connect creatives with our community. New Bedford is the home of artists, creatives, change makers, designers, entrepreneurs, and community enthusiasts. The peer-to-peer sessions embrace the pulse that makes New Bedford so unique, while also expanding our knowledge and connections. New Bedford Creative offers many opportunities for artists and cultural organizations. Join our creative directory, apply to one of our grants or call for arts, list your event on our calendar, all for free, at our website, newbedfordcreative.org. Peer-to-Peer Sessions is funded in part by the City of New Bedford's Arts, Culture, and Tourism Fund, facilitated by New Bedford Creative at the New Bedford Economic Development Council, which receives support in part from the National Endowment for the Arts, a federal agency. We would like to thank Mayor John Mitchell, his administration, and the entire New Bedford City Council for their continued support of the creative sector. Additional support is provided by Barr Foundation, Bristol County Savings Bank, and South Coast Community Foundation. I will now pass it over to Margot to share more details of who we are and what we will be presenting for you today. Go for it, Margot. I am muting myself.
So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Margot Saulnier. I am the Director of Creative Strategies at the New Bedford Economic Development Council. And today I'm going to give a little bit of history on the Artist in Residence program. Since its launch in 2017, the Artist in Residence program at New Bedford Whaling National Historical Park has honored the tradition of national parks as sources of artistic inspiration. By inviting artists to interpret and share the park's stories, the program provides new perspectives on New Bedford's history and identity. In 2024, the program expanded through a collaboration with us, New Bedford Creative, at the New Bedford Economic Development Council, as well as UMass Dartmouth's College of Visual and Performing Arts. This collaboration provides artists with enhanced resources, creative opportunities, and deep community connections that amplify the impact of their work. Starting this year, for 2026 applications, we moved to submittable.com, which is what we are going to review today. For anyone who has applied for this residency in the past, this is a new platform that we will be reviewing today. For anyone that has applied to New Bedford Creative Grant programs the past 3 years, it's the same platform. So this will be new to some, and some of you have experienced working within this platform before. So Hendrik and I are going to walk you through step by step how to apply. Today, we will review how to access the application, review the guidelines, and walk you through step by step how to submit your application. We will also show you some photos of previous artists in residence. One way to access the application is on New Bedford Creative's website, and you want to click on grant programs. So Hendrik, if you can please share your screen, and we will show you how to access that. For those of you here online, the link to our website is in the chat, newbedfordcreative.org. And we want to go to the grant programs page. Once you are on the grant programs page, you would scroll down, and the first thing on there is this Artist in Residence program. And you can access it through the click here to apply. And as you will see from there, it will bring you to submittable.com. This is the NBEDC page on submittable.com. And if you do not have a current, if you do not have a current login, you will need to create one. This is free, so it's free to create an account. It is also free to apply to any of our programs. Some other grant programs or artists and residents may have a fee, but this one does not. So it is free to apply. Submittable also will save as you go, but we do suggest, it's just best practice to get your materials together, your proposal together in a Word document or a Google form or on a piece of paper. It's good to have that backup on your own device and not rely on Submittable, though it does save as you go. So right now, one of the only actually, you're seeing the behind the scenes view. So soon you will also be able to apply to our grant programs, which you are seeing there. But this today is about the Artist in Residence program, which is live now and expires on Monday, December 1st by 11:59 p.m. So you want to make sure you get your proposal in well before that date, and it'll be open until that time. So there's plenty of time to apply. We're going to go click on the guidelines first. Thank you, Hendrik, and provide an overview. So, as I said in the introduction, we're entering the 9th year of this Artist in Residence program. And in the guidelines, it does allow you, which we're not going to click on right now, but it does allow you to see more information about past artists. This link will bring you to the National Park website, to the Artist in Residence archive. So if you're interested in seeing what previous artists in residence have done, that is a great link to use. So we are seeking artists who wish to engage deeply with the city's collective stories, the community, visitors, staff, and volunteers. The program embraces the belief that art should be accessible to all and positions the artist as a catalyst for inspiration and broad participation. Many past participants have been active in socially engaged practice, creating work that sparks dialogue and fosters connection. This is a highly public-facing residency. Artists must be prepared to interact meaningfully with visitors in ways that go beyond a traditional studio residency. Programs may include workshops, talks, demonstrations, or other free public experiences. In addition, artists in residence are encouraged to collaborate with local artists and connect with other residency programs in the region. And this is something that those of us involved will help you with. So that's why we started this collaboration with the National Historical Park, that New Bedford Creative, and UMass Dartmouth College of Visual and Performing Arts faculty and staff are here to collaborate with artists and residences. So this project description, this call is for artist residencies that will take place in 2026. We will select up to 3 artists to complete residencies during the following times. This is 3 months, April, May, June, another artist, July, August, September, and a third artist, October, November, December. This program comes with a $2,500 stipend, studio and exhibition space at the National Park Visitor Center, and promotional support and some supplies. Applications are competitive as this is a national call, and only one artist in resident will be selected per sessions. Artists should clearly outline in their proposals the scope of their previous work, how the residency will advance their artistic practice, how New Bedford will serve as a source of inspiration, and a plan for meaningful public engagement. And strongest consideration will be given to artists who embrace all components of the program. Graduate level and professional artists living in New Bedford are especially encouraged to apply. And we need to make this very clear that housing is not provided. So artists must secure their own accommodation for the 3-month term. Teams of artists may apply, but the 2,500 stipend is shared among collaborators. All artists emerging mid-career and established are welcome to apply. Artists who are self-starters and able to work independently are also encouraged to apply. And access to the provided studio space is limited to the open hours of the park. And we would have you go directly to the park's website to see what the current hours are. And please note that does change depending on the time of year. So winter hours may be different than summer hours, for example. So we're going to review the requirements of the application in a moment. So I wanted to scroll down to the selection process. And so the deadline is December 1st. So there's no way selections will be made in November. So we will be making selections in January. And we'll have the panelists score all of the proposals in December. And those applications will be rated and evaluated by a panel that includes former artists in residence and local art professionals. And we do give high consideration to New England-based artists and those that contain clearly articulated public engagement and respond directly to the call. And they will be judged on uniqueness, appropriate residency, artistic merit, and public engagement. And again, the proposals are due Monday, December 1st, 2025 by 11:59 p.m. And I'm not going to review the history because I just talked about the history earlier today. So let's go into how you apply. So you just want to click that submit button, and that is going to bring you to the application. And it reviews these are all of the guidelines again, so we can scroll all the way down. So it does. So now you have clicked on the submit button and it brings you to the application. It should say 2026 Artist in Residence Program, New Bedford Whaling National Historical Park at the top. And then you'll scroll down. We did this purposefully to just so you can see the guidelines again. And then the application, it will also say 2026 Artist in Residence Program here. We clicked on the option that if you wanted to have a collaborator in this application, that you could. You don't have to do it by yourself. You can have other people contribute, especially if you are applying as a team rather than an individual. So you can manage collaborators that way. And then begins the information. So I am just gonna apply as myself. You want to input your contact information, and this is just standard, right, for any application. Social media is required, and the best way to do this is to actually paste in the site. So if you are going to Instagram, for instance, paste the whole URL into your application. So it's going to look like that there. And then the website is not required because we do know that many artists might not have their own website. However, for those who are locally, especially within New England, there is the Creative Ground Creative Directory, which you can also access through our website. So some of you, many of you, have created profiles on our creative directory. And so that you can copy and paste in there for your website. And that is what we would recommend so that we have that. Now, the letter of interest, 500 word maximum. This is where you just describe what you would like to do during your artist residency. And please, please make sure to include how you plan to engage with the public and in this letter of interest. Okay, that's why we have the maximum amount, 500 words here. So we want to make sure that you address both of these elements, what you are planning to do with your artist in residency, and how you plan to engage the public. And then this artist statement is also required, and it is the values that you see behind the art that you create, whatever that art is. We also have an artist biography, and we 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 have volunteer panels, so we want to make sure that they have enough time to go through all of these proposals, and we have limited it to 300 words. So please include the highlights of your biography there. We have this is an upload of a file for your resume and up to 10 images of your artwork. So we have a very wide array of file types, but we do recommend that, PDF is the most standard. If you do not have PDF, we have Microsoft here, as well as a photo, but we do highly recommend that you use a PDF for your resume and or your CV, however you describe it. And here you want to attach up to 10 images of your artwork. We recommend at least 5. Like 5 is very good, up to 10. Please use all of it. Like we have a lot of space in this system for files. And again, we did all different types. Every image file that is allowed on this platform is available to you, as well as other types as well. So we'll be able to open those up within Submittable. And then for the references, it's 3 references with contact information. You don't have to upload 3 files or 3 letters. We're just asking for names and phone numbers and emails of 3 references. So I would recommend that you put those all on one piece of paper on one page and attach one file with all 3 reference names and contact information. And then optional, we have this 2-minute video, and we really do ask that you keep it within 2 minutes or less. And we have all different kinds of video formats for you to upload that. There's no preferential treatment given to artists who upload a video or not. But we did want to have that option available because some types of artwork are best heard and seen in a video rather than images. So, and that's it, people. That's the whole application. So it really is uh not that long. I don't know how other artists in residence programs what they require, but you can do it, you know, we were thinking that other than, coming up with what you would want to do in the 3-month residency, which does take some time, that actually filling out this application should not take a lot of time. Now, while Hendrik, have any questions come in thus far? Okay. And we do have several people here in our conference room. So as we go on, okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment because we do want to show you some photos of previous artists in residence. So let me get that up. We just sent out a press release announcing this call, and so I am going to share my screen again, and now we are in, put this up. Can everyone see my screen on? Okay. Cool. Okay. So this is Alex Buchanan, and this is the studio that all of the artists in residence will be using. So this curtain here, if people can see my screen, if my, I don't know what you call that, the arrow there. So this is Alex. He is the current artist in residence right now, July, August, and September. And Alex's work, he works a lot with rope, with fishing rope and other rope works. And he's also working with print and Morse code. He is a former, he's a veteran of the Coast Guard. And this is on an AHA night, so people would come and visit, and he has an activity. He will be there. An AHA night, for those of you who are not familiar with it, it's art history architecture night. It's a free cultural night here in New Bedford where there are dozens of programs that happen on the second Thursday of the month for free all over downtown New Bedford. And here is Argavon Bouyer's final exhibition. This is the exhibition space at the National Historical Park. So it is a beautiful space that is in the Corson building. And there are windows, so you can, it's at street level, so you can see the exhibit off of the street. And Argavon was the artist in residence earlier this year, and I believe we have a couple more photos of her work. This is she's obviously a textile artist, and there she is. This is in the makerspace that's upstairs, and this is on one of the community projects that she did with weaving. And here are a few more photos of her work. So on the other side of that curtain is the makerspace in the Corson building on the second floor. And so there are, that's where the public engagement activities sometimes take place is in this space. And There are some equipment that's available and supplies that are available to the artists in residence. So this looks like it may have happened on an AHA night. I'm not sure. But she did not only this, but I personally attended one of her embroidery workshops on a Saturday, and it was great. Here's Kara Bean. Kara was an artist in residence a year or so ago, and Kara is a cartoonist and an author. And so she did many workshops on mindful doodling, and this was on an AHA night. This is a page from her book. And then the first artist in residence of 2025 was Danny Lulu. And Danny, as you can see, is a musician, and he combines his performing with some animation. And let's see if we have a couple more photos of his work. So this again, let me just go back here. This is in that same gallery space as you saw Argavon's work in, just to give you an example of the range of types of genres and work that can be done in the space. And so here's Danny performing on an AHA night, and some of his design. So he does both the projection, the artwork for the projections, and the animation choreographed to music. Here's another artist in residence, Manny Escobar, who is a well-known jazz musician in the region. And here he is. This is at the Co-Creative Center, so it's not at the National Park. So this is another one of his engagements. Many public engagements are at the visitor center in the Corson building at the park, but you can also do work in the community. And so that's why I wanted to show everyone that. And then I wanted to give you some ideas, especially those of you who have not visited New Bedford, what the exhibition space is like. So this is on the first floor. And while there wasn't an active artist in residence exhibit, UMass Dartmouth College of Visual and Performing Arts had their MFA exhibit earlier this year in April it was the month of April. And so here is another view of that gallery space. So you can see, I was saying earlier that it's on the street level. This is William Street in New Bedford. It is a cobblestone street. This is in it's obviously the New Bedford Whaling National Historical Park, and it is a historic district in New Bedford. So this is downtown. The Whaling Museum, New Bedford Whaling Museum, which is our largest museum and institution in downtown New Bedford, is diagonally across the way here. So this gives you an idea of the type of space that you would have to exhibit your work, do a public performance of some kind, etc. So it's small, but it really is a gem of a space. You have that one brick wall on one side. You have a plain, what can be white wall on the other. And then further up, I don't have a photo of this, but further, there's like little steps up here. There is a theater space as well. And I don't want to make any promises. You have to work with the park staff, but I imagine that that could be a space as well. So that is our press release we just sent out. So those are all of the photos. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And that is an overview, a very brief overview. Oh, that's a good question, Michelle. So Michelle's asking, how often do you have to be there in person to create? That's a great question for those of you who have studios that are local or within driving distance of the downtown. I believe they ask you for a certain number of hours. I'm gonna have to look that up. That is very flexible as far as, some even the artists who were not originally from this area, they they have used some of the resources at the College of Visual and Performing Arts at UMass Dartmouth. I mean, I know Alex was over there, during his residency. Elaine and Beatrice Alder used their space and resources. So it is possible, and I think it's a matter of working with the park staff on, when the public engagement, especially if you're a more local artist and you have very specific, okay, so I know you're a glass artist. Can you be doing what you normally do in your studio in the makerspace? I'm not sure you can. So the question, in case this wasn't heard on the recording, is can the studio space be used as rehearsal space? And the answer is yes, as long as it's within the park hours. So, we can't predict for 2026 what those hours will be like, nor can we predict what the staff situation is going to be like right now. So that's why we want to make sure to make it clear that, if the park closes at 4 p.m., that's your cutoff for the rehearsal. Like if it's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesday through Sunday. But don't quote me on that because I don't know for sure, and it can always change. So those would be the hours that you would be operating within. So in other words,
You're gonna have to supplement your rehearsal space with other spaces. Yeah. Right?
Yes. And
yeah,
yeah.
Want to know what the availability is of the actual space so that when you're in there for residents, right?
Right.
You can't live there. It's not open Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, right? And you want to be able to, you want to rehearse your pieces very clearly. Everybody wants to, or they should be, but it's safer to not plan your time there for that and just execute while you're inside because it's limited hours, right?
And you do have, and again, this is to work out with the staff and with us and with the CVPA staff and faculty, other options if needed. There is a backup plan for most things. And that's why we created this collaboration to begin with. So we all do have a backup and other resources available. And one is this building here where New Bedford Creative's offices are located at the Quest 1213 Purchase Street. For those of you who want to attend in person for any of the future peer-to-peer sessions. So I think with that, we can do our exit.
Okay. I want to thank you all for your time this afternoon. This was a great session. Also, I'd like to thank our funders, the City of New Bedford, the National Endowment for the Arts, Barr Foundation, Bristol County Savings Bank, and the South Coast Community Foundation for making this possible. Be sure to visit our website, newbedfordcreative.org, and join our free creative directory. This is the list we use to promote on our social media throughout the year. Make sure to add your events, galleries, exhibitions, or more to our calendar page that is linked to South Coast Today. We want our creatives to excel, and we are here to help. Join us for our next session, the FY26 Grant Program Info Session, Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, from 12:30 to 1:30, either via Zoom or in person here at 1213 Purchase Street, New Bedford, Massachusetts. Thank you and have a great day.